Hey, what's going on, guys? This is xIgnight, and welcome back to Whose Take. This is mine on Rabid's last question. This is going to be an interesting one. I'll go into some detail with this one. His question was, would you rather live a life with either trust or love? You can't have both. And I think I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit before I actually answer the question. So I'm kind of going to give both sides, and the first one is trust, which, as we all know, that's being able to know that if you tell somebody something or anything along those lines, you can have that kind of sense of security that they won't rat you out pretty much. And on the other hand, there's love, which love is kind of a back and forth feeling. It can be both good and bad, and it can be good in the sense that it's kind of a one-of-a-kind type of a feeling. You can't really replace love with anything, and I don't mean to say that you can replace trust with anything. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. You can't really replace the feeling of love with anything. Love, in my opinion, is kind of a combination of emotions. I would say it's a combination of the emotions like happiness. I don't know if this is really an emotion, but the sense of like caring, and I guess just a lot of time always thinking about that one special someone. And I mean, you can also think of love in like a family sense, which brings up a whole nother issue with the whole trust versus love. I don't know if that's what the question intended, but I'm just kind of thinking out loud. So family love is kind of the comfort of being able to go home and know that you have people that support you no matter what you're doing. I think that would be my definition of family love, knowing that no matter what you do, what happens, well, to an extent, they'll always love you and they will always support you with whatever your choices are, as long as they're reasonable choices and they're not of questionable legality or anything like that. But it kind of brings in a new aspect of trust or love, which before I even kind of thought about a lot of this, I was going to choose to have love versus having trust, just to play devil's advocate and kind of throw out food for thought sort of a thing to get you guys thinking. So if it deals with family love also, I'm gonna go with love all the way. I mean, trust is a really big thing, but it can also be broken, which is not fun dealing with if somebody breaks your trust and you can't trust them anymore. But I'm gonna have to go with love on that one, just because it entails family love and loving another person. And I don't know, I feel like love just brings in a lot of happiness, and I guess a lack of trust could kind of negate that, but I'm gonna go with love, and that will be enough said about this topic. So I hope you guys kind of think that, and feel free to answer this question on your own in the comments below. If you guys have any thoughts of your own, feel free to throw those in the comments. I'd love to read them, and let's move on. So my question for Rabid is, what are some of your biggest pet peeves? And this kind of is a pet peeve that goes with anything, not necessarily just like a Call of Duty pet peeve, like, oh, I hate campers sort of a thing, but kind of dealing with just anything to do with life. I'll list off a few of mine, and I'll try to get as many topics in as I can. I'll kind of give like a broad topic for social interaction. My biggest pet peeves with that are when you're texting someone, and Rabbit probably already knows exactly what I'm going to say about this, But when you're texting someone and they respond with one word, that's annoying. If you're like, how are you? I'm good. Okay, what do I say to that sort of thing? It's like, alright, that's good to hear. I'll talk to you later. See ya. So, something like that. Or even one thing that I will do if I meet somebody new, I guess, and start texting them, and they use like the abbreviated texting lingo, like if they'll throw in just the letter U as saying like, how are you? That's really annoying. I will stop talking to you if that's how you talk. It's just a pet peeve of mine. It doesn't take that much extra effort to spell out the word. But I did have one friend in high school who actually, when they would ask how are you, this girl would type out HRU. No spaces, just HRU. And when I first got that, I was like, what the heck is that supposed to mean? And I figured it out fairly quickly, but that, I don't talk to her anymore. I kept conversations very short, if any, if there was conversation at all, just because I can't stand that. It's like, it doesn't take that much extra effort. Go take an English class, learn how to type. Punctuation kind of bothers me as well, like if you don't use commas or things like that, periods, that sort of a thing, that bothers me also, but that's not as bad. As long as you're spelling out the words, then that's alright. So, that's kind of one of my biggest pet peeves with social interaction. And then I'll move on to pet peeves on the road, like driving. And Rabbit and I share some of the same pet peeves with this, but one of them is obviously when somebody cuts you off. It's just like, really? Come on, dude. I know you gotta get over, but signal for a bit. If it doesn't work, then label me as the douchebag who wouldn't let you in or something like that. Or I guess when people kind of lane change, say you're in the left lane, they're in the right lane, the left lane is technically supposed to be the faster lane, and say they lane change into your lane and you're going faster than them, if you have to slow down because they don't speed up to what you're doing, that gets kind of annoying sometimes, but that's more doable. As long as they're on the speed limit, then that's alright. But one of the big things that bothers me is, it's kind of just a respect thing. When somebody, say you're in super, what's it called? Rush hour. I couldn't think of that for a second. When you're in rush hour traffic, like on the highway, and somebody's trying to merge onto the highway, they're going through the lane. When people drive as far up the merge lane as they can to get as far up into traffic as possible, it's like, come on, really? We've all been waiting here. You do the same. Get in as soon as you can. Because one thing I'll do is I leave space for people to get in, and there are 4 or 5 guys just drive straight past that opening, try to find one closer and like force their way in. And it's like, are you kidding me? You couldn't. Whatever, but it's kind of turning into a rant video. But one more quick, I guess, road pet peeve is when I let somebody in and they don't, what's the word? They don't acknowledge it at all. They just kind of merge over and then keep going about their business. It's like, at least throw up the wave, kind of wave, say thank you. And one thing that might be kind of weird, but when people do throw up that thank you wave, and it's after I was polite enough to let someone in or back up to do something, I don't know, there's probably more examples, but most of the time just letting somebody in, it's nice when they acknowledge that you did a good deed and they say thank you, and that always makes me feel happy and all good inside. It makes me feel good. So that's kind of pet peeves on driving. And pet peeves, I'll go to pet peeves in school. This kind of leads to a story time. I only have time for one because this game's almost over, but pet peeves are when teachers assign homework assignments and then don't collect them. My chemistry teacher in senior year of high school did that. They gave a worksheet with like 40 problems every other day, and half the time they wouldn't even collect it. It's like, if you're not going to collect this work, I'm not going to waste my time to do it. I'll make more YouTube videos, so suck it. No, I don't know, it just bothers me when I take time out of my day to do work and then they don't even collect it. And look at me, getting the final kill cam with this Reaper straight through the little awning thing. That takes some serious skill. And the final score for me was a 41-9. I was playing with Rabbit in this match and we just tore it up. Well, I tore it up, Rabbit. But until next time, guys, peace out.